Have you ever wondered if you handle the situation properly? I know I have. Well, you're welcome to SIP. Here, we say it properly. And we're looking forward to having you on each episode as we learn together how to say it properly. I am MABEL FOLUKE IRUKERA. See you then. And you're welcome to Say It Properly. My name is MABEL FOLUKE IRUKERA. I'm your host today, and I know we're going to have an amazing time together. By the way, have you subscribed to Byronbee TV? If you still haven't done that, you're wasting time and you're missing out on a lot of content. So please just go ahead and subscribe, and then you'll be able to stay in touch with us. On Say It Properly today, we're discussing a very, very interesting topic. And that is what? Swearing. First, let me ask you, what is swearing? You might not even be aware, of what swearing is, but there are different definitions of swearing. So, well, we can swear when we're in the court of law, and we have to swear an oath. You take an oath and you say, oh, I swear that this evidence that I'm giving here is the truth and all that. So that's swearing as well. You're taking an oath. You can also swear to verify the authenticity of a document. That's swearing. And then, of course, the one that we're all very, very familiar with is when they swear you into an office. So the president is sworn in and he raises his hand and says, I'll obtain the Constitution, or I'll maintain the Constitution. Whatever he says, is about, taking office. So that's swearing. But that's not the swearing we're talking about today. Today we're talking about a different kind of swearing. We're talking about the swearing where people shout the F word. Ah, yes. So I have a scenario, actually two scenarios. The first one, let me say this to you, about a young boy called Jason. And Jason had been working on a puzzle. We all know what puzzles are. These tiny bits that come together. And you know how difficult it is to do that. So this young boy has spent his break time every day, 30 minutes every day, since Monday to work on this big one. And it was set on a desk at the side, somewhere in the classroom. And every day when his friends are out there playing, Jason would sit there and he would work on the puzzle. The teacher was very excited, like, wow, I really am impressed by this. You're giving up the discipline in it. And Jason was, happy because he could see it taking shape. Very soon, day by day, he could see the pictures, he could see everything coming together. And on the fourth day, on Thursday, a friend pushed another classmate, and that young man fell on the desk that the puzzle was set on. Jason was working there. Jason didn't fall, but the puzzle just gave way all the way. And Jason yelled, F you! And the whole class went quiet. So the F you here is F-U-C-K. I don't like to say the word, but that's what Jason said. The class was quiet because you're not allowed to swear in the school. What happens? Jason's parents are called in. Jason gets written up. And the parents were very embarrassed, like, how would you say such a word and all? But we'll come back to that. Why did Jason say that? Then there's another reason, another scenario actually of this woman. And this woman, this was very different. An older woman, like probably in her late 50s or early 60s, well-dressed, older woman, church-going, Bible-carrying woman. And she was telling me something that happened to her. And the next thing she said to me was, they just fucked up. I was shocked to hear her say that because she used the word, the F word. And so I was like, Ma, she's looking at me. She didn't even understand. So that's why we're talking about swearing today. Swearing. At times we don't even know we're doing it. So you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So you have the F word. So you have people saying that, you have people saying shit, like, oh, when they're frustrated. You have people saying things like, damn you, like that. All these words are used mostly when people are frustrated. That's what swearing is. Why is swearing so, why is it not encouraged? Because it's not polite. And it's also an expression that even though you are, venting your frustration, it's an expression at the same time that does not show culture. It doesn't show that one is well-mannered. And so that's why we try to teach our children and ourselves not to say those words. I want us to go back to the situation with Jason. Jason, the young man. If you were Jason and you spent 30 minutes each break for 4 days working on a puzzle and someone pushed it down, would you be angry? Would you be frustrated? I think you would be, because I know I would be. But the first thing that came out of him was the F word. And that's where we're really concerned. Why was it that he has to say the F word? And so we're talking about swearing today. Swearing is the use of unacceptable language. When in society, the kind of language that you would use that people are not, that would not show you up as cultured, as well-mannered, that would not be acceptable. But people still use them. Why do they? So why you have somebody saying things like shit or F you or F up, it's out of frustration. And so when you hear a child say that, definitely there are things that we need to check out. So mom and dad, when you hear your child use that word or call someone a bitch, say, oh, that's a bastard, stuff like that, you have to ask yourself, do I swear? And it's an honest evaluation. It's not a criticism. An honest evaluation of myself, of yourself, just to know whether it is coming from you. Because most times, children pick these things up from the home. And then, of course, the environments that they grow up in. So it could be a friend, it could be a cousin. Do you have somebody living with you that uses the word now? But it's very important that you have an investigation of some sort, internal and then external, and ask, do we use swear words in this house? How do I express myself when I'm frustrated? What do my children see? Are you the one that punches into the wall when you're frustrated? So that's one part. The other part too is that people swear many times because they don't even understand that the swear word is not a cool thing to say. Like that respectable older woman, she had no idea. She just thought it was a way of expressing her anger and frustration about what somebody had done to her. She was organizing an event and they messed up. She could have said they messed up, but she just felt that the gravity of what they had done was thicker than mess up. So she used effed up. We're talking about that. So could it be that grandma is visiting and grandma does not realize that the F word is actually a swear word? So you use the word, there's another one that people do, and that's to say, oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is not even a swear word. So why are we bringing that into it? And many times, are we saying you can't say Jesus? There are times when you need to shout Jesus, because if you're in danger, for instance, you could just shout Jesus because you feel that, oh, that higher power will come to help you. But if it's out of frustration, then it is disrespectful. And it means that that's something that you need to work on to eliminate from your vocabulary. Otherwise, you continue and then the children will pick it up as well. At times, it's the teacher in school. So teachers, I'm speaking to you as well. I'm a teacher. How do you express your anger? So the beautiful part about say it properly is that we don't just stop with the problem. We now go to the solution and say, how do you say it properly? How do you express that anger, that frustration? First and foremost, you need to identify what you're mad about. What is making you so upset? What are you angry about? Why are you so angry? Jason, it is obvious. If I were Jason, I'll be very, very upset as well. But Jason speaking that means that he had been hearing it somewhere, and it's what is inside of him that would come out. So if Jason had been told other methods of expressing anger and frustration, then he would have used them. What are these methods? What are these ways we can do like a redirection? So number one, I think, walk away. You're angry about something, you're very upset about it, and you don't know what to do anymore. At times, it's just good to walk away. Walk away Doesn't mean that you're not going to go back to talk about it. Doesn't mean you're not going to go back to address the situation. But instead of saying the wrong words or even saying the wrong thing, so you walk away. That's one alternative. Actually, that's the first thing that I would advise when you're frustrated, when you're angry. Because anger is an emotion. And that's one thing we as parents need to understand. That anger is an emotion, being frustrated is an emotion, and emotions always have outlets. There's a way to get it out of you. That when you're happy, what do? You clap, you dance, the different things you do. In the same way, when you're frustrated, you show that you're frustrated. But we have to teach our children and ourselves how to react to things like that, to frustration, to anger. And so number one is to walk away. Walking away just means that you're just to clear your head. Clear your head, think about it. Yes, you're angry, you're upset, but you're not going to say the wrong thing. You're not going to act wrongly at that time. The other thing is, at times some people just say, you know what, scream. I know that parents will be saying, is this woman serious? Yes, I'm very serious. At times when the person just screams it out, whether it is pain. I'm sure you've watched a movie before where somebody was in pain and they just said, you know what, just yell. Because somehow it seems to help you. In the same way when you're angry or you're frustrated, I'm not asking that we teach our children to scream at, indiscriminately, just stupidly. No. But I'm saying at times, like if Jason had just screamed, that might have been better. He might not have been able to walk away. But there are situations where you don't even know what to do. But if he just screamed, so try it. Next time, just scream. So the anger will come out of you. So the frustration, the pent-up frustration will melt away. Then you go back to deal with the real, the issues there. The other one is to cry. And I know that the men are just saying, I'm telling my son to cry. Guess what? There's nothing feminine about crying. Crying is universal. It's an emotion, it's an expression. The way we laugh, the way we clap, the way we dance, everything is an emotion. That's it. So at times you're crying out of frustration, but we're only concerned when you just don't stop crying. But if you cry because you're frustrated and you calm down and you get over it, then that's fine. I know that I have done that. And so if you want to laugh at me, just go ahead, it's okay. You can cry. And of course, you can talk it over. In some situations, you can sit down with somebody else, maybe a neutral party, and just, say everything that is inside of you. Let them know. Talk it over. Talk it over. Express yourself. Tell them what you're thinking. Tell them how you feel, what you feel the other person could have done better, and let it out. When you talk to a third party, most times, you will actually get a more balanced view. And you would see where your anger is, where your anger should be directed, or maybe there should be no anger at all. That's one of those things that we need to do instead of using swear words. But guess what? Some people are already used to using the swear words. So how do we get them out of it? One, if you are the adult in the family, it means that you've done your investigation and it's not coming from your home. You need to find out exactly where it's coming from and eliminate that. So if it's from a group of friends, you need to separate your child from those friends for that time, so that your child does not get used to it and build a habit of swearing. If it's in school, then you can ask the teacher and say, I think this boy is picking up, or this girl is picking up these swearing words from school. The school can begin to address that as well. But if it's a situation where you're not able to figure out what is going on, then you need to sit down and talk to the child about how unacceptable it is to swear and how it's not cool. Because for the younger children, it's very important that things are cool, they're acceptable, and they're accepted by their friends. So just tell them it's not cool, it's not acceptable, it's not well-mannered. Tell them and encourage them. The next time the child swears, you draw their attention to it and say, how could you have done it better? How could you have done it better? So those are the ways that we're going to be teaching our children and ourselves to get over, swearing. And that brings us to right about the end of this particular edition. We're looking forward to seeing you next time, and I know that as you go off now, you're not going to be swearing. You're not going to be shouting the F word at anybody or calling anybody a bastard. And if you live in Lagos like I do, next time you're stuck in traffic or you're maneuvering through the lanes and somebody cuts you off, scream. Just scream. Don't use the F word, and don't show them the finger, because that's another way of saying it. From us here at Say It Properly, we look forward to seeing you next time. Remember to sign up, subscribe, share on Byronbee TV. Thank you, and God bless you. Have you ever wondered if you handle the situation properly? I know I have. Well, you're welcome to SIP. Here, we say it properly. And we're looking forward to having you on each episode as we learn together how to say it properly. I am MABEL FOLUKE IRUKERA. See you then.